This is the second battle between me and Gojira, where I am commanding the High Elves. He is commanding Empire, the Talabeclan province, known for their Hochland marksmen with long-range sniper rifles, essentially. So for my Elven army, I have 2 Illyrian Reavers on the flanks, backed up by 2 Silver Helms. I have 4 Northern Sea Guard in the center. They are archer, spear, multi-purpose units. Very nice. Then I have a total of 5 High Elf archers in the center in loose formation here to limit the amount of damage I take from artillery. They are in turn backed up by, I believe I have 6 High Elf spears, 1 Dragon Prince, none of the elite units of the Elves, of the melee units. I like the archers and the spears. Here we have a Hellblaster volley gun in the center. You saw me bring the Hellstorm rocket battery in the previous battle. I do not like the Hellblaster, it's too glitchy. Then we have Empire Swords, 4 Empire Swords, Great Swords on the flanks. Then we have 2 Knights Panther, we have a Warrior Priest of Ulrich here, wielding Warhammers. Empire Halberdiers up front. Here we have some Empire crossbows, 3 of those, and in front of those we have 2 Hochland marksmen. Now this Hellblaster is already in range, so it's taking a lot of damage, and it's going to be rendered combat ineffective fairly soon. It's going to get the volley off and do a bit of damage, but I'm not taking too much damage from those volleys, really. My general is way to the back, and I'm going to rush up my High Elf spears up front and just allow my High Elf archers and my Northern Sea Guard the time to fire for as long as possible, because they are going to do a lot of damage to this Empire infantry line. I see that it's fairly slow. I should be able to hold the swords for quite some time. I have basically rendered the Hellblaster volley gun ineffective at this point. So now I can just allow my High Elf archers to fire, and the High Elf spears rush forward to hold the line. I want to get them in as quickly as possible, deny these guys of their charge. So the High Elf spears rush in here. Really like doing this, just sending in units to hold multiple enemy units. Do the same thing over here, rushing straight into halberds, not the best idea, but the halberds weren't down because the halberds were moving, so I'm able to get into both of these units, pile on the hurt on the Empire halberdiers. Same thing over here, managed to get the charge by rushing in my spears very, very aggressively. In the back here, I'm charging the crossbows with my Silver Helms and charging the Knights Panther, also chasing after the Empire crossbows with my Illyrian Reavers. I don't want to take any crossbow fire. Same thing over here, using the Illyrian Reavers to stop the crossbows from firing. Over here my Silver Helms are holding the Knights Panther. So I've managed to tie down the cavalry, which is very important because I want to keep these spears safe for as long as possible. They're going to be so important in the late game. The halberdiers are almost defeated now by the spears. It's so important that the halberds have their halberds down when they get engaged. So I'm going to try to flank around with some High Elf spears over here, get my Illyrian Reavers out of there before they get defeated. This unit is basically lost anyway, so it was engaged by halberds, so not much I can do there. Now the High Elf spears are starting to lose. You'll see the military genius pop up everywhere. This should help them a bit though. Rear charge from some High Elf spears into the Empire swords, surrounding these units fairly well, but they are great swords, so they're going to be holding for a long time. I still haven't used my Northern Sea Guard though. They are just standing here to protect the High Elf archers. I don't care too much about friendly fire here, I just want to kill the Empire melee units. The Illyrian Reavers causing havoc in the rear of the enemy. Just have to be a bit careful with these, be a bit careful with the halberdiers. But at this point, I only really have one good cavalry unit left, but this is my most important one. It's my Dragon Princess of Calador, where my general is. He hasn't taken much damage yet. Over here, the Illyrian Reavers are still fighting with chasing away some Empire crossbowmen, because those crossbows could do a lot of damage to my archers. Now the Hochland marksmen, let's see where they are. Here they are. They've taken casualties. They continue to do so from missiles. Over here as well, they are a bit out of position at this point in the battle. Nice rear charge here by Gojira into my High Elf Spears. The High Elf Spears getting wrecked by the Knight's Panther. But I still have these archers raining down death upon these. So this is going to be playing for the late game, basically. Trying to do as much damage with the spears as possible, trying to do as much damage with the archers as possible, and then try to finish off units with these Northern Sea Guards. So I'm charging in with my Northern Sea Guards here against the depleted Empire swords. These units are fresh, these are winded, very important. So the Empire swords drop really quickly on the charge there, and that's what I hope to have happen all down the line. When I send in the Northern Sea Guard fresh against his fatigue units, that they're able to do a lot of damage. And yep, they were able to break the Empire swords really quickly. The Knight's Panther moving around my flanks here, that could be a problem. So I'm going to send my Dragon Princes over, they can deal with Knight's Panther with ease. He's starting to break through, and I'm mainly concerned about the warrior priests of Ulrich. I don't want to fight them just yet. The Northern Sea Guard now, holding down multiple units, buying me very important time to do the damage I need to do. I think I'm trying to focus on this, I'm trying to focus on the Knight's Panther a bit. Because I only have this one cavalry unit able to stop enemy cavalry. But I did send my Northern Sea Guard here into the Knight's Panther. Now the Dragon Princes come in to finish the job. And the Knight's Panther start dropping, hopefully. Actually, that wasn't too bad for them. 3 casualties. High Elf Spears starting to break. Fighting warrior priests. Not a good time for Northern Sea Guard. Getting the Northern Sea Guard here into the Knight's Panther. They don't die instantly, but they do take significant casualties from the Northern Sea Guard. Using my Illyrian Reavers to stop any Empire crossbows from supporting the fights. Here we have the marksman moving up. So at this point, I've lost most of my melee units, but just by pulling back the archers, I still have ammunition here. Pulling back the archers and using my Dragon Princes to cycle charge, I think I could make something work here. My Illyrian Reavers fighting the Empire crossbows in melee. They are going to lose eventually, but they're also going to stop these crossbows from firing. And this unit is so depleted anyway that I don't see any other use for it. I could use it for rear charging really, but I really want to stop those missiles. So here, firing into the Empire Halberdiers. They don't like missiles at all. A bit slow with my micro here, so I wasn't able to disengage properly with the High Elf Archers. Now they're getting wrecked. Using the Dragon Princes to stop any units that get too close. So these Great Swords and Empire Swordsmen, I really want to get the charge on them. Here comes the charge. Again into multiple units, doing a fair bit of damage. And this is the unit that's going to win me the game, if any unit is going to be able to. Because I don't fancy my chances with spears against the warrior priests. So cycle charging these units. Stopping the halberds, very important. The Empire Halberdiers once again get into the archers, trying to get the archers to stop the Knight's Panther from moving around, because the Knight's Panther, although they can't defeat my Dragon Princes, they can't stop them. Focusing fire on the Knight's Panther, attacking them in the rear, means they run off the field. So over here my Northern Sea Guard facing the wrong way in shield wall. Because why wouldn't they? So they're going to lose here. But these units chasing me away here, there aren't that many units. Great Swords got charged, losing men. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send in the High Elf Archers that don't have ammunition. I'm going to send them in here against the Empire Infantry. Stop them, disengage my cavalry safely. Use the Northern Sea Guard here against the Halberdiers. When they don't have their halberds down, just rush in the high elf archers, trying to grind down these melee units. This is a halberdier unit. I was thinking of charging it frontally, but I thought the better of it. I'm not going to do that just yet. My Northern Sea Guard here, though, is holding, even though it's in a weird formation. Now here are the warrior priests of Ulrich, and they are a problem. The halberdiers are going to move in here, but that's going to allow me to flank them. The dragon princes should take out these marksmen, because the marksmen can't snipe the dragon princes from long range. Here we go. The marksmen get wrecked, go flying by the charge of the heavy cavalry. So this unit is off the field. I have to disengage before the warrior priests get there. Even though these are only archers, there are a lot of them. And against depleted exhausted units, they can do reasonably well. Killing off the halberdiers here with the Northern Sea Guard. And now the marksmen are... There's another marksman unit here, which could be a problem. The warrior priests chasing after my winded dragon princes. Now winning against these halberdiers was very important, because now I can use the Sea Guard to rear charge this blob, getting into the back of the swords, getting into the back of the Emperor halberdiers. But the great swords also get into the back of my Northern Sea Guard, but these units should break fairly soon. And there they break. Sending the Illyrian Reavers now into the marksmen. Try and stop them from sniping my general, because if that happened, it would be really bad at this point. So as you can see by the balance of power, 71% killed versus 79. Which is reasonably close. The balance of power is close, but the thing is, I have cavalry, and Gojira doesn't at this point. So having cavalry allows me to do this, get in and destroy units quickly, disengage before the warrior priests get there, and not having the warrior priests in this blob is so important, because the warrior priests would could take out all of these archers. Now the Sea Guard is... Gojira actually has this Knight Panther left. I didn't notice that. Now he's just consolidating his forces, keeping his warrior priests near his marksmen, which is a good idea. The Knights Panther looks like they want to get into some archers here. But I have my cavalry close, so I'm going to take him head on. And the Knights Panther should lose this engagement. Although they are very heavily armored, so they can take a beating. They are just not dropping here. I'm going to send in my Northern Sea Guard to kill them off a bit quicker, because now the warrior priests are close by. I'm going to focus fire with my remaining arrows. Try to kill the marksmen and try to kill the warrior priests. When the spears got in there, the Knights Panther started dropping, which was very nice. So now I've saved my archers. I have a lot of men remaining. Now it's time to just start engaging and going for rear charges with the cavalry. Let's just fast forward here. Gojira consolidates his forces. My last remaining missiles are killing warrior priests very nicely. Also focusing on this Empire Halberdier, I believe. Yep, doing a bit of damage to it. So sending the cavalry around the flanks. I don't have time to rest it. I don't want to rest it. I just want to go straight in. Charge against the warrior priests. Pull out straight away. Hold the halberdiers with my bit of a baiting charge there. Send in the Northern Sea Guard into the back. Kill the enemy general with a cav charge. And that of course breaks the Empire Halberdiers, so now there are only these warrior priests left on the field. Should be able to deal with them with the cavalry charge. And now surrounding these warrior priests is really the way to deal with them. Surround, cycle charge with cavalry, Northern Sea Guard to the front, Dragon Princes to the back. And that's it for the halberdiers. Now I just have to finish off these warrior priests, and it's a GG. Close victory there for the elves. Lost 1500, Gojira lost 2100, I killed 1900, and he killed 1503. So let's see who did the damage. Yep, the cavalry of the high elves carried the day, 292, 184, 206. Silver helms did very little because they were fighting enemy cavalry. The Northern Sea Guard, some of them got nice kills. The High Elf archers also carry the day, nice kills on practically all of the archers. The spears get a decent amount of kills, but they also die. So with the High Elves, cavalry and skirmish wins the day. You're not going to be able to grind down the Empire with the spears alone. The Empire has swords, two-handed swords. They can basically bring more melee cheaper, but what they cannot do is contend with the High Elves at range. And in this battle, we limited artillery or special units to one artillery special unit. So I think a mortar could be nice, but I was really worried that Gojira was going to bring the Hellstorm rocket battery. Fortunately for me, he didn't, because if he brought that, he could have done the exact same thing that I did to him. He could have sniped my dragon princes, and I would have had to keep them so far away from the battle that they couldn't have really supported. And of course, if he fired at my infantry with the Hellstorm rockets, I would take massive casualties, I would take massive morale penalties. My general wouldn't be nearby to support, and it would have been really difficult. But this type of setup is probably one of my favorites for the elves. You have 4 Northern Sea Guard that double as spearmen archers. Then you have a bunch of high elf archers doing damage at range, and high elf spears, just send them in to die, send them in to hold the enemy, so you can fire at vulnerable enemies while they are engaged in melee. Thanks for the game. Strength and honor.